Hey, what's happening, everybody? My name is MeatStick89 and I'm here walking to go to my grind spot. Check this out, got some raids, huh? Too bad my brother wasn't with me. We could just smash those Zelfs out, but what are you gonna do? So realistically, what it is that I'm here to do today on this magnificent and beautiful day is talk to people about what it is that I'm speculating that's gonna happen for Torchic's Community Day and what that special move will be for our Blazikens. So as we all know, here's a couple of quick things that always happen for Community Days. Community Days will give us a new shiny. It's the first time we can catch that specific Pokemon as a shiny in the shiny form. Secondly, they give us some sort of reward or a bonus for the entire duration. This time is amazing. 3 times catch Stardust. Wow. I got a goal. I'm looking to get 12,000 Stardust an hour. So that's going to be 36,000 Stardust throughout the entire event. Yes, I will be hatching a few eggs. Nothing crazy. Maybe 1 to 2 at a time. Because the way I've learned about Community Days is when you hatch an egg, it stalls you up, right? So the actual animation of hatching that egg, that is so much time in the game where you cannot catch or shiny check or evolve. So I will not go crazy. It's only triple catch Stardust for the catches. I can make up the Stardust on the lack of hatching eggs later on. But the importance of it is to get out there and catch all of the Torchics you can. For some reason, if they would have spawned some Combuskions, congratulations. That's 900 Stardust per catch without a star piece and without weather boost. Guys, that's phenomenal. Now, another thing I want to point out about this Community Day event is I don't care who you know or where you play, where you live. No one knows what the special move is going to be. No one does. And this is kind of controversial. It's a little nerve-wracking for me because if I had known what the move is going to be already, I can decide right here and now if I need to put rare candies into my Torchics, or do I need to assign it as a buddy to accumulate more candies? I mean, I have almost 3,000 candy, but let's say, I'm going to go on record and say that Blaziken, in my opinion, will be learning Blast Burn. And I know not a lot of people truthfully like Blaziken. Me personally, I don't. But I do like being the best at raids, and that is what this is possibly going to change for me, as well as everybody else, but most definitely for me, because I am prepared to invest the investments I need to get that. So a lot of talk is going around, and there's a lot of questions about it. A lot of people are kind of under the assumption that Blaziken's Community Day move will be Blaze Kick. Now, this would hold a little more value in my eyes if they gave Sceptile a different Community Day move other than Frenzy Plant. So the reason why I am totally assuming that Blaziken will learn Blast Burn is because we had the first Gen 3 starter Pokemon receive a Community Day, and it received a Community Day move that 2 of its predecessors had received as well, and that would be Frenzy Plant. So I think if Niantic was going to change the actual Community Day moves, I would have thought they would have done it with Sceptile, being that it's the first of the Gen 3s to have a Community Day. So it doesn't really seem like they're gonna change the Community Day move pool midway through a Gen starter Pokemon. I don't know if that makes sense. So if Sceptile learned Frenzy Plant, if Sceptile didn't learn Frenzy Plant, then I would be more inclined to believe that Blaziken would be learning Blaze Kick for that signature move. But then again, it's still up in the air because Blaziken is part fighting type as well. So what does that mean? It could open up a whole world of questions and a whole lot of false evidence to support it, truth behind it to support. But what if Blaziken was to receive Dynamic Punch? Or even Power Up Punch, because that is a PvP styled move. Now, what they did with Mamoswine this year is they allowed it to learn Ancient Power, which by any means is not a good move in a raid situation for Mamoswine. No matter what raid boss you are going to use a Mamoswine with a rock charged attack on, Stone Edge is always going to outperform Ancient Power if we're talking about Mamoswine with either Ancient Power or Stone Edge. Now, that is another reason why Niantic could change everything and say, well, congratulations, trainers. You evolve all your Torchics and Combuskions into Blaziken on Community Day during those hours, and it can learn Power Up Punch, or it could also learn Dynamic Punch. Truthfully, don't wish for a fighting type Blaziken. And here's how you got to look at it. So Dynamic Punch is the game's best charge move for the fighting type. I love it. It's incredible. Machamp holds supreme. It is a beast with that moveset. Blaziken is fortunate enough to learn Counter, which happens to be the game's best fighting fast move. So yeah, if you were to talk about Blaziken learning that that Dynamic Punch fighting charge move, it would always out DPS Machamp, right? That's a given. But it would not out TDO Machamp. And it definitely wouldn't on Hariyama. Hariyama survives a little better than Machamp, but Machamp allows you to beat the raid a lot faster than Hariyama. Well, I shouldn't say a lot faster. It's about 10 to 12% faster. But if you're doing short man style raids, using least amount of people in your area to accomplish an end goal, that makes a world of difference, right? That 10, 12%. So let's look at Blaziken currently and right now. Blaziken has a 240 attack stat. It's the 40th highest attack stat in the game. And people are probably going to say, well, 40th, oh, that's not good. It actually is, because Pokemon that have the higher attack stat are along the lines of like Tyranitar, Metagross, Rampados, all your big dragons, Salamence, Dragonite, Garchomp, stuff like that, where those Pokemon have massive, massive attack stats. Blaziken currently, right now, has the highest attack stat out of all the starters in Pokemon Go currently. So that's pretty impressive to think about it. Now, it's got one of the worst defensive stats, no doubt. And it's not really that impressive making it up on the stamina side of things, so it's a pretty squishy Pokemon. But you're not looking to use Blaziken to survive. You're looking to use Blaziken to thrive, and you want to beat down raids as fast as you can. Now, there's not really a lot of love in the fire type thing, in the fire typing reign, Right now we have Moltres as the #1 fire. We have Entei as the #2 fire. Well, let me back that up. Entei is only #2 because it survives a lot longer than Flareon, but Flareon throws off more damage in a shorter amount of time. So that would be a tricky one to kind of gauge. My money would be going on to Flareon if you're looking to have a higher DPS, but if you really need to survive and dish off an amount of damage that is impressive, you're going to want to go with Entei. And then the fourth best would be Blast Burn Charizard. So where does that leave us in the game? That leaves us pretty hungry and pretty empty on the fire types. So if Blaziken was to learn Blast Burn, it's absolutely going to wreck the current meta. I'm not talking PvP or that PvE. I don't know how that lingo goes. I just know that Blaziken is not a viable option in PvP. So I'm not really hoping that it's going to get a powerful PvP move. But what I am hoping for is Blast Burn, because if it happens to learn Blast Burn, it will in turn become the highest DPS fire type Pokemon in Pokemon Go. Now, I do want to say that this is all speculation. I don't know what that community day move is. You don't know, your friend doesn't know, and your favorite reader on Reddit or your favorite YouTuber, they don't know. All I'm saying is get prepared, be prepared. You don't want to be kind of lost in translation if it does get blast burn. You don't want to be fishing for good IVs during the community day. What you're going to want to be doing on community day is racking up the Stardust, racking up them shinies, and getting all the candies that you can. You know, so let's pray to the Poke gods that Blaziken's signature move is going to be Blast Burn, because yes, it will absolutely out DPS Moltres. It's going to be right underneath it as far as like a TDO standpoint goes, but it's not going to be a Pokemon that survives better than Moltres, but it will, if it has Blast Burn, it will be the game's highest fire type DPS Pokemon. So with that being said, just remember that this is all speculation. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know for 100%. I'm just assuming that being it is a starter Pokemon, it is a fire type Pokemon, it's going to receive Blast Burn. And the only other option that I could see Niantic dishing out is a fighting type charge move, which if that's the case, it's going to be such a letdown, because Machamp is always going to be better, and Machamp, you know, fighting type is good against rock, and that's a main use for fighting types. And in all honesty, Blaziken, being fire and fighting, fire is weak to the rock, and fighting is strong against the rock, so Blaziken will receive neutral damage, so it's not a good option to use in a rock type raid boss. But with that being said, a couple of quick tips. You're going to want to clear out some Poke storage. Guys, that's essential. Essential. It's triple Stardust. You're going to want to rack them up. You don't want to have to IV check as you go. You just want to go. Secondly, you're going to want to rack up on your Ultra Balls. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you guys have much experience catching Torchic, but Torchic tends to bounce out, if not run, when you use Pokeballs. Even if they do decrease the rate of flee, it's still going to give you a lot of hassle. So just get as many Ultra Balls as you can. Great Balls will suffice, but Ultra Balls are a little easier when you're going to use your Pineaps. And truthfully, you're going to want to rack up on those candies, so Pineap away. What I did for the Bagon Community Day is I Pineapped every Bagon, and then when I came across a shiny, I actually used a Silver Pineap. So I was always receiving double the candy, and I actually only had one Bagon Flea out of 238 seen. So, you know, it's effective. I just try to be effective, and I try to manage my time properly, but maximize my rewards. So with that being said, guys, I just got down to my grind spot. There's a couple of raids. I'm going to see if people are hanging around or whatnot. I'm going to go try to smash those out. And I'm going to keep loading up some new videos. So the next one that I'm going to cover is about Tyranitar and why you shouldn't forget about the value on Tyranitar, especially right now. So with that being said, thank you guys for tuning in, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Later, and good luck.